Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome back. Today I'm going to talk through all of the series that I'm never gonna finish. So I knew I wanted to do this video because I knew I wanted to do all the series I've completed, which I already did, and I wanted to do series I will never finish, never complete. And so I was scrolling through all of my books on Goodreads, and I did it by author, so it would be easy to see all the books in the series. And there were a lot more on this list than I thought. I think I have 10 or 11 books series on here that I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna pick up. Now, in the infamous words of Justin Bieber, never say never, of course, but when I was scrolling through, I was just like, yeah, I have no inkling to pick the rest of this series up. There's so many more precious and good books on my TBR. Sorry if these are your favorite series. Please do not take it personally. Let's just jump into it. The first series, and I feel like I talk about this all the time, but I guess I really don't. I haven't in a while because it's been years since I read the first two books, and that is the Mara Dyer trilogy by Michelle Hodkin. This series had such potential. The first book is good. If you're interested in picking it up, try the first book. Just know that the series goes downhill super fast. This is a young adult paranormal romance, pretty much, where we don't know what's happening to the main character. She has all of these weird things, weird ghost-like paranormally things happening to her. We're trying to figure out what's going on. The first book is suspenseful, it's creepy, it's got a decent romance. I think I gave that like a 3.5, 4 stars. This series goes downhill really fast. None of the mysteries pay off. It turns into this like complete romance. The last book I had to DNF because it was so bad. I did not like it at all. No spoilers. One of the reasons I didn't like the last book is that the author throws around the word retarded, which is one of my like hate words. I do not like when people use that word at all. It doesn't make any sense to me why that would pass through editing, because the main character says it and it's not discussed at all. It's just not good. I really don't like when people use that word. So that was a big red flag for me. And then there were just all these things that kept coming up. You don't get answers to any of the questions from the previous books. Now there's a spin-off series from the boys' perspective, which I've heard is even worse. Like, I'm just done. I don't care about this series anymore. I wish it was like a duology that was suspenseful and paranormally and fun, but it wasn't. It turned into some convoluted BS, to be honest. Man, I forgot I had all those feelings. Woo! The next one is a little bit of a controversial one, and this is one that I'm still open to. My main reason why I'm not super into this right now is because their author just announced a like second extended trilogy to the series, and that's the Shatter Me series by Tahereh Mafi. I read the first two books in like 2015 and they were all right. Tahereh's writing is really beautiful. I do have to say that. I do think this series is overhyped. One of my main complaints was that there weren't any female characters. There was Juliet and a bunch of guys, and I was disappointed with that. I don't know if the new spin-off series has more females. I just feel like this series is so hyped up that I'm just not on the hype train. I'm like that person that's just like, nah, this is way too hyped. I don't really care. The next series that's on my list, I also fell into the hype of, and that is the Wrath in the Dawn duology by Renee Ahdieh. I was on the hype train for the first book. This is a retelling of 1001 Arabian Nights, but it's heavily romance focused, and the writing is good, but it took me forever to get through the first one, and I think I still gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, but I believe it was because of the hype. Looking back, I think it's more of like a 3-star read for me, and I just have absolutely no desire to pick up the second book. I don't even remember much of what happened in the first book, and I haven't heard great things about the second book. That one came out and kind of flew under the radar, so I'm a little on the fence with this one, but again, like Shatter Me, I was on the hype train and now I'm off the hype train. The next series on here is the Luck series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I flew through the first book. I took it on a road trip with me, which perfect road trip read because it goes by so fast. It reads like Twilight. Like, you're just like, boom, boom, boom. But this is like a 6-book series that I just don't have time for. I think I got rid of my copy. I don't even have I had the bind up of the first 2, and I had been meaning to read the second book in the series, and it got away from me. I don't think I'm ever gonna commit to this long series that, to me right now, feels a little bit juvenile. The next series on here is the LA Candy series by Lauren Conrad. I picked this up at the peak of Hills in high school. Lauren Conrad, if you know, was a reality TV star in LA, and she is a mogul now, fashion. You know, she has a fashion empire, Kohl's line, high fashion, all that stuff. I think in her last few seasons on The Hills, or right after she was on The Hills, I can't remember when in her life she wrote these books, but it's basically a series based off of her life. She says the characters aren't based off of real people, but you can kind of see. I don't think I'm ever going to complete this series. I picked it up because I still love Lauren Conrad, but very young series, written by a celebrity, just not gonna finish it. Next one, another controversy. Here we go. It's the Outlander series by Diana Gabaldon. This series is freaking huge. It's 6 books long, 7 books long, and counting, and all of those books are very large. 800 plus pages. I have no idea. I read the first book 2 years ago in 2016. Did not like it. It was not my cup of tea. I'm not a huge historical fiction fan in general, so I don't think that helped the cause. I didn't make a review of this, but I talked about it on my most disappointing reads of 2016, I think, if you want to check that out. Basically, not for me. Manic pacing, weird storylines, don't really get the hype, but that's just me. I'm not gonna devote the time to the rest of this series. If you love it, that's fine. I did not. Next up, we have kind of an under the radar series, and that is the Firebird trilogy series duology by Claudia Gray. The first book is called A Thousand Skies. No, the first book is called A Thousand Pieces of You. It has a gorgeous cover, but I did not like this book. It was really short, and it had a very promising premise, but I don't think it had enough time to flesh out what was going on. Basically, we had our main character who was time traveling or interdimension traveling between different dimensions, and it was very romance heavy, not enough action adventure for me, so I was disappointed. I feel like this was marketed as an action adventure sci-fi, and it really just was a romance. The next one on here is a series that I really don't like, and that is the After series by Anna Todd. This is a new adult romance that is based off of, or was previously, a fan fiction, I think a One Direction fan fiction. Correct me if I'm wrong. This book is so problematic and so dramatic and so bad. I can't believe there's 8 books in this series. That's a lie. I'm being dramatic myself. I think there's 4. Oh my god, I will never ever touch one of these books again. So bad. If I could give it 0 stars on Goodreads, I would. I wish I could, but I gave it 1 star. So mad. The next series is a series that I forgot about until I was scrolling through Goodreads, and that is the I Am Number 4 series by Pittacus Lore, who is actually an author that's popular, that actually, I'm curious now, it's somebody that's pretty popular in the adult. Oh, James Frey. I think he's got some controversy surrounding him. I don't know. Regardless, this series is a middle grade kind of young adult series, sci-fi series that just is bad. It's not good at all. I think, again, this is another huge series, 8 books or something like that. Not gonna devote the time. I mean, I forgot I read the first one, so there's that. The next one is the Girl Online series by Zoe Sugg. This is a trilogy. I read the first one because I was really curious about it, because it was one of the first booktuber books ever. It was a fiction book, and I did not hate it. I was pleasantly surprised, actually, about it. The plot was very predictable. The romance was very predictable. I did like how Zoe Sugg or her ghostwriter, whoever, made the decision to include anxiety as a topic. I thought that was really important, especially with Zoe's huge fan base. But that being said, the series is not for me. I'm not going to continue on with it because I don't care. We have the Maze Runner series by James Dashner. This is a trilogy that I have completed, but I believe since then there's been a spin-off prequel book or a spin-off sequel book, The Kill Order, and I think there's one coming after that. I don't really know. I'm good with this series being a trilogy. I enjoyed it as a trilogy, and that's where I'm gonna leave it. And finally, we have the Vampire Diaries series by L.J. Smith. The first book is called The Awakening. I freaking love the Vampire Diaries TV show. It's really good. It gets a little hairy somewhere in the middle, but I enjoy it very much. It's got that moody paranormal vibe that I just dig so hard. Anyways, the first book in this series is really bad. I listened to it on audiobook and it's nothing like the show. The show is 10 times better. It's very, very cliche tropey. That's all I really can say about it is every YA cliche about a vampire book that you could think of is in this first Vampire Diaries book. So I would just save yourself the time and watch the TV show if I were you. So that is it for the series that I'm never going to complete. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did not know, I'm doing a video every day in September, so I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye!